What's the good word? Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Inner Circle podcast. I am Zach Klein. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment as well. Coming up on this week's edition of the show, AD with an early nominee for his Defensive Player of the Year. We'll have the art of trash talking. And what if Adam Thielen, who was just waived by the Minnesota Vikings, was a teammate of Aaron and Matt? How would they react for him wanting out and wanting to play for a contender? We have all of that and more on this week's edition of the Inner Circle podcast. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, man, I'm in my playing weight. I was at Saturday, I weighed 263. I weighed in a day. What's today? Tuesday, I weighed at 254. So it's working. It's working.
9 pounds.
You know, I like
just
to look
from
good,
one
man.
meal a day? Just from one meal a day?
But I work out. My workouts are pretty intense, sweating a lot, you know, taking care of myself. And then, you know,
Matt,
it's just how it worked for me. I don't know. It just works.
Do you think his workouts are as intense as ours, or?
No, Todd. He's not putting in the work like we are.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna come out there and work out with y'all one of these days, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know if you want those problems.
We have to change ours up.
I was gonna ask, hey, how often do you weigh yourself? Like, are you a once a week guy? Are you every day?
I really don't. It depends. If like all things given, I know I was picking out a lot, so I had to see where my weight was at. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm a little heavy. That's like I'm weighing when I was playing at 263s, 265. So I was like, let me cut this down. I like to be around like 255 at the most, or 250 at the lowest.
Okay, so
I don't. It depends how I'm eating.
Funny story about that. When I first got into the NFL, our head coach was Mike Smith, and we used to have to weigh in on Thursdays. You know, for everybody you'd have to make your weight or whatever it was, be in your range, and we always did that. And on Thanksgiving one year, we weighed in like normal Thursday morning, and then without us knowing, he had us weigh in the next Friday, and he gave out a Golden Gobbler Award to whoever gained the most weight. And I think it was Grady Jackson, was a defensive lineman for us at the time, won the Golden Gobbler. I can't remember how much weight he gained in one day, but I remember being appalled by how much weight he had gained overnight.
Wait, when you guys, when they do the weights, like they give you the weight or the range, but like what happens if you don't feel comfortable in that range? Is there any, can you fight that with the coach or the strength coach or whoever who's putting that weight limit on? Or is it, hey, this is it, sorry, even if you don't feel comfortable?
It depends. Like me, my weight was probably set at like 267, 268, 270, but I was always like 260, 263. And they was okay with it because, you know, they knew I took care of myself and how I trained my body. It just worked. But everybody's different, right? I was obviously a veteran guy that earned the respect to be able to do that. But there's got guys that's overweight or underweight that's like, if you don't hit this weight, then you might get fined. You get yourself in some trouble if you're not hitting your weight.
I've had guys that have told me like, oh, coach, they have me at such and such weight, but I don't feel comfortable there. I'm much better at this weight, but they want me at this weight. There's no ability to debate that.
Well, I think this goes on. Coach Cowher talks about it all the time. There's a tolerance and a production scale that's over here. And, you need to tell your guys to produce a little bit more. I think they'll be okay with whatever weight they want to play if they start producing a little bit more.
That's what I'm saying. It all depends.
I want to be clear. All my guys produce.
That's right. I'm sorry. This is
obviously they don't. If they ain't allowed to weigh what they want to weigh. No, I'm just talking.
Yeah, hypothetical, of course.
Okay, good.
Matt, if my memory serves correct, you used to drop a lot of weight during the year. You're always you're a svelte young man, always, didn't have, too much problem losing weight. But did you lose weight throughout the year? And how much of a struggle was it, I guess, to keep weight on through the course of, 3, 4, 5 month NFL season?
Yeah, I think, usually once I got to the regular season, it was pretty consistent. I always felt like training camp, when you're playing in Georgia and it's so hot, it was okay to come in. I played at 217 basically my entire career. And I was pretty consistent week in and week out being, maybe you were like 216.8 or 217.2, but it was always somewhere in that range. But in training camp, for me, I always like to come in, even if it was like at 220 or 221, because inevitably in that first week, I was going to go down to 215, 214. You're just sweating so much. It's so hot. And so it seemed like whenever we broke camp, I was able to get, kind of that weight back to where it always was. But it was always, camp for me was the hardest part. And I couldn't imagine, I wasn't running like our wide receivers and DBs and, even tight ends and backers, those guys. I mean, you would have days where they didn't have much weight to lose, and you're talking about 7-8 pounds in a practice of water weight being gone. So, we always have percentages. When we talked about hydration and kind of fueling, there was percentages that you would go down off of whatever your baseline weight was. And if you were at certain percentages, man, they were getting you IVs or they were getting you, loaded up with electrolytes and those different things. So it's amazing. And now I step on the scale and I'm like, this is pathetic. I'm either like 205 or something like that. And I'm softer around the edges than I've ever been.
Damn, you
skinnier
like
and fatter, AD. Skinnier and fatter.
205.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be in the 190s soon.
Todd, are there weight clause bonuses at all?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a bonus. I'd call it a deduction.
If you maintain a certain weight,
that's a fine. That's a fine.
They're more fines if a guy's not maintaining the weight, for sure.
Okay.
I think we should institute a weigh-ins on Tuesday mornings. We all got to send a screenshot of it. Yeah, send it around. We can put our numbers on there. And if you don't hit your number, you had a big weekend or something like that, we'll take a little money from you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So what would be your
Todd,
weight?
are you in for this? Todd,
I'm not in. Like, here's the deal.
Hold on, time out. What would your weight be, Matt?
Hold on. Matt's like 6'7" and like 12 pounds.
No, I'm not.
Zach literally is emaciated. AD, you just told us by cutting a little bit, you lost 8 pounds. I'm not necessarily tall. I am, maybe a little thicker.
You're
I am
not thick.
So we gotta set our
Stop
weight.
it.
That's what I'm trying to say. What's the weight we gonna set? Like, what's Matt, Todd, what's yours, Zach, what's your
I'll
weight?
let
What's
you
the
know
weight?
next show. I got to go I haven't weighed myself in forever. So I need to weigh myself, know where sort of I am, and then I'll give you my
No,
baseline.
you acting shy now. You
No,
don't want
I
to
swear.
let us know your
That's
weight.
right. There's always
That's
those
crazy,
guys in the
Todd.
locker room,
Damn,
AD.
bro.
There's always those guys where you're
No.
what'd you weigh today? And they're like,
I'll
I was
just
don't
share
wanna
fine.
with
say
you.
it, right?
I'll share with you my body fat percentage. I'm at 8% body fat. That's all I'll tell you.
Yeah, bullshit.
I want to know.
I've never been 8% in my life.
Okay, fine. Well, we can do that next show. I will go get my baseline weight, and then I'll let you know, and then I'll hedge my
Okay.
bet and make sure I'm always in the zone.
Perfect. All right, Zach, you ready to start the actual show?
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, perfect. All right,
How
let's
about
go.
Todd and his Dak-led Dallas Cowboys, man? I mean, back-to-back weeks, talk about making a statement, right? I mean, you beat the Eagles, you beat the Chiefs. Matt and AD, is momentum a real thing?
I think so for sure. We used to have a center, Todd McClure for the Falcons. He used to say all the time, there's no momentum like momentum. And when we would get on a roll, he would go with it, and we would break the team down with that all the time. And I think it's real. You get into those spaces as a team, right, AD, where you just have this mindset and there's this feeling that no matter how a game shakes out, we're going to find a way. We're going to score points when we need to. We're going to get the stop when we need to. So I think it's a real thing. And when you're riding it, man, it's the best feeling in the world. You're out there, you just feel invincible.
Confidence. That's what it is. Confidence. And you win these big games consistently. They playing good as a team. Defense is playing really good football. Obviously, the offense been playing good ball, man. So that's a confidence boost.
They got a quick turnaround. They got the Detroit Lions on the road, the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. And, momentum is only, what do the coaches say, Matt? Humility is only a week away. So as high as they are right now, the Lions coming off a tough few weeks. This could be a preview of what many could expect could be for a deep run in the playoffs. Excited to see what these two teams have in store on Thursday Night Football.
It's definitely going to be a playoff atmosphere. Because both these teams, I think you've got Dallas, who dug themselves such a deep hole at the beginning of the year, coming into this game playing the best football that they have in a long time. And then Detroit, on the other hand, starts the year off and is playing well. In the last couple of weeks, they just have not looked the same, and certainly didn't look the same against the Packers on Thanksgiving. But make no mistake, both these teams need it. You look at the records in the NFC, both in the NFC and the AFC. Like, it's looking like it's going to take 11 wins to get into the wild card. And so, if you're Dallas, that's ripping off 5 in a row. And so they're going to need it. I expect this one to be wild. Usually Thursday night games, they haven't been great. You watch them, but both these teams have a full week to prepare. I expect this one to be a really good one on Thursday night.
I was going to ask you guys that, like, short weeks, Thursday games, obviously there's a longer gap here because I guess they had the weekend off. So it's not like a typical Sunday game and then they turn around on Thursday. But the Thanksgiving game was a short week for them. And just in general, short weeks, like them, don't like them, hard on the body, preparation mentally? What goes into all that?
Well, it is harder because it's a short week. You just play Sunday, then you got a game Thursday. It's all about, taking care of your body, getting your body back. Obviously, through the week, it's a lot more walkthroughs through that week leading up to the game. But, you got the right people as far as like the training staff and all that. Typically what we did if we played Sunday, we had a Thursday night game coming. After the game, as soon as we get in the locker room, you got to do something recovery-wise. You got to do something, if that's game ready, cold tub, hot tub, boots, whatever it is. Sometimes they had the masseuses in there right after the game to work on. Then you come in Monday, short a week. I don't even think we even watched the film of the game we played. We probably went through it real quick, couple things we need to clean up, and then we go straight into the next week. But it's more like getting right into it, really trying to take care of your body, get your body back where it need to be, and typically the Tuesdays was the longer days. You had probably multiple walkthroughs, right? Because it's really want to take as much off your body as you can to prepare yourself to play a Thursday night game. But it was a lot, but I enjoyed it. Because, prime time game, and then you get that mini bye week on the back end to get your body really to relax a little bit, get away. So,
what about the game plan? What about the game plan aspect of it?
Yeah, I always thought we tried to like sandwich 2 or 3 days into one, so it was like Monday, you'd finish up, you'd play your Sunday game. And then Monday was like, okay, like AD said, we weren't going to watch the full game, but we might have a few cut-ups of things that we need to correct. So there might be, 15 plays that the coaches want to show you and say, hey, we did this yesterday. We need to get this cleaned up before we head into, game planning of the next team. And so you'd finish that meeting, and then it was like, okay, here's a quick run through of who we're playing this week. Mm-hmm. Here's what they do on first and second down. And then we would go walk through, and we always did it at night on Mondays. So we would give our coaches all day Monday to prep, to get ready for the players to come into the building. And then we would meet at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, go through quickly, the game before, and then switch into, install of first and second down stuff on Monday night. And then we would go walk through that Monday night. And then Tuesday was really like, it was a combo of Thursday and Friday, which are your third down and red zone days. So Tuesday was the installation, maybe a review of the first and second down, then an installation of third down and red zone. And then you go walk through it again, that time on Tuesday night. For us at least, we always practiced later in the day or closer to nighttime when we were playing those primetime games, just to get our bodies ready and to give the coaches time to prep. And then Wednesday, it was really, for us, it was the longest walkthrough we would have all year, because it was a review of first and second down. Usually the day before, it's a quick walkthrough, maybe, 20 plays, 25 plays, run through some situations. But Wednesday for us was a long walkthrough. And then you get to Thursday, you review it one more time in the morning. You're going through the game plan again. You're making final notes. But then once you go play, I always thought as a player, AD, it was like once the lights came on and it was time to play, you forget what your body feels like. It doesn't feel great all season. Yeah. So it's time to go and you go out there and you play.
When you guys are talking walkthrough, just like for the average person that doesn't necessarily know, like walkthrough, are you literally just calling a play and people are just kind of like light jogging and not wearing helmets? Are they wearing helmets and you're kind of going speed, no contact? What are we talking about?
Well, sometimes it was no helmets, or sometimes you had helmets on, but most of the time you had a helmet on if it's a short week like that. And you still working your techniques. You're just not going full speed. You ain't really striking, but you still working. Like for a defensive lineman, I'm working my hand placements. I'm working what gap I'm a man on. If it's a walk through on a pass, I'm working what pass rushing when we like. It's not. You're just not going fast speed. So I don't want to say you ain't like walking, but you walking, but you're not walking. If that makes sense. That makes sense. What I'm saying. Matt, explain it better than what I'm explaining.
Jogging. You're jogging at this point. Sometimes our guys were in hats. Sometimes we're in helmets, but never. There wasn't contact going on. During those type of practices. For me, though, as a quarterback, whether it was walkthrough, whether it was whatever, I always had my helmet on because I wanted the communication just like it was in the game. So, even if we were in walkthrough during the season, whatever it may be, I like to have my helmet on so I could go through the communication that we were going to have during the game.
We saw it a couple times in college this weekend, and we saw it in the NFL. And I'd be fascinated from both an offensive and defensive perspective to get your take on this, where, let's call it, because you talked about the 2-point play, Matt. So the offense lines up for a 2-point play, or they're going for it late in the game. They run out in the field, and then the defensive coach is called timeout. So you had a play, you're getting ready to execute it, and the opposition calls a timeout. How often would you call the exact same play? And then defensively, Aaron, were you expecting them to run the same play they had lined up previously? You follow me, Matt?
Yeah, I gotcha. It depends on how good that play was. Sometimes you have one schemed up so good, you're like, I don't care that they saw the formation. Let's go back. It's going to work. We've got this one schemed up. Maybe it's a trick play. Maybe it's something we're running off of what we've shown. It's a nice little wrinkle off of something we've shown. But I would say more often than not, we probably changed the play. I would say it's probably, 2-1 that we would change the play, come out in a different formation, or maybe just run the same play we were going to do, but maybe format it just a little differently. We'd say, hey, instead of lining up in 2x2, we're going to start in 3x1, motion to 2x2, just to give them a little bit different look. We're going to run what we ran or we were thinking we were going to call, but we might just give it a little window dressing, make it look a little bit different. But sometimes you just got the right call and you're like, man, let's go for it. We got the right one.
So would you ever assume that the defense would call a timeout? So you go out with plan A, we're just going to, hey, this play means absolutely nothing because we know they're going to call timeout. And then when you come back out of that time, like, yep, we got him exactly where we want him.
No, because you don't know. You don't know. You don't know what the defense is going to do, right? Like you can't assume they're going to call timeout and then they're like, oh man, we got a bad play. We're going to burn our own timeout.
And that's why Zach is not a coach. Can you imagine? Zach's team's out there. They're ready to go. They're all looking at each other. There's no timeout. He's like, okay, just run somewhere.
Man, this is you in the huddle. Hey, we going to line up there. They're going to call timeout. Ready? Break.
Hey, line up. We'll go double right, Z right. Let them call timeout. On one, right?
Hell no, Zach.
Yeah, call timeout.
On one.
Or you go with plan A, you check out of it if they don't call timeout, and then you go to the money play because you're just telling me how many times you're confident that you got what you like, and then you call timeout. If you're so confident, you're not running it. Yeah, that was a confident play. Todd.
You got to coach to the lowest common denominator here, Zach. Everybody's got to remember all of this stuff out on the field on the fly, right? And
that's
so it's a lot.
That's why you're in charge.
Yeah, that's right. We got to keep it simple. Make sure on offense in general, we got to make sure we know what we're doing before we're worried about what they're doing, right? And so, I think you start, all things considered, you try and start there.
What about you, AD? When you saw a play, did you guys call timeout defensively? How often would your coaches, say something to you to say, hey, if they run this, we're good, and if they opt out of it, we're going to plan B? Is that usually how it worked from a defensive side?
Well, yeah, you communicate. You adjust to what they give you, right? If you got a game plan, like he said, they 3x1 and they motion to whatever you said, they motion to 2x2, whatever it was, you adjust to that, right? That's called game planning. You understand? It's preparing a week before the game and certain things that they like to run in the red zone and what they possibly can run. You prepare yourself for that. They got certain calls attached, and then you adjust to whatever they come out in, right? And you just play ball. That's all it is. So communication is key. So anytime it's players, coaches, you got to communicate. Everybody got to be on the same page because the linebackers got to communicate with up front. They got to communicate with the guys up back. Everybody got to be on the same page for any defense to, have any type of success. Red zone, midfield, backed up, whatever it is. So communication is always key.
I will tell you, Zach, I think the one situation that's different, and it's not a 2-point play, but it's end of game, must out of bounds situations or Hail Mary, where you're kind of on the fringe of, hey, if we pick up, 5 or 6 more yards, we might have a chance, an outside chance at a field goal. But that time restriction, maybe it's like 4 seconds, right in there. A lot of times there you'll line up and you're getting a timeout. So you'll line up, you usually have it 2 ways. A must out of bounds from 2x2 or 3x1, meaning 2 guys on each side or 3 guys on one side and 1 on the other. And they usually have checks like you said. So we'll have a Hail Mary called if they line up in sideline defense. We feel good about it. We're going to take our shot, or we'll have our attack the boundary play called. And if they line up, on the boundary, defending the boundary, we'll check and we'll go to our Hail Mary. That's a lot of times in those type of situations, you do have those 2 calls.
What was the Hail Mary call? Do you just go to the huddle and say, all right, Hail Mary, or is it something really intricate?
No, it depended on the coordinator. We had sometimes it was just spread right, 2-jet, Hail Mary. We had that. Some places or some offenses, we called it middle jump or sideline jump, whatever it was. Some places it was like Big Ben or Geronimo. I don't know why it wasn't just Hail Mary, but that's how it was.
I like Geronimo. I'll help break just get down the field. How about this, guys? In Minnesota, they waive Adam Thielen to let the wide receiver find a bigger role and close out his career playing for a contender. if you guys were going through it from training camp, Matt, the dark days, the long days, putting in all that time, that energy, bonding with the team, then your wide receiver says, you know what, I appreciate it, but I'm going to bounce.
Guys are at different spots of their career, and Adam has been, I think, pretty forthright about, forthcoming about, this is it. This is the last stretch run. And I think everybody in Minnesota, has an idea of where they're at. And, I think from a player's perspective, if that's what a guy wants to do at the end, I think you have a different lens on that than maybe, somebody in your anywhere from year 2 to 10, right? Like if this isn't the end, I don't agree with that. But if it is the end, and I know Adam, he's been a team first guy his entire career. If it is the end for him, then I think you feel differently.
Yeah, for sure. You want to be with a winning team. Last hoorah, I'm pretty sure he had conversations with the organization. Probably some of the guys knew what was going on. They see how the season ending up, how it's going down the drain kind of thing. And I don't know as far as like where he's trying to go or what that looked like. Or I don't know if this is his last. Is this supposed to be his last year this year? He's saying, or we don't know.
Yeah. Every indication has led to this is it for him. And he will retire one day, AD, as a member of the Vikings. But, with them 4-8 and basically out of any wild card or division race, he's like, listen, man, I just want to give it one more go.
Well, that's his decision to try to get picked up by somebody that's winning right now. And that's what he's trying to do.
Yes.
Well, I'm not mad at him. That's nothing I would want to do. But everybody's different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's different. Like if that was me in his situation, I wouldn't want to just, obviously you upset how the season's going, but I wouldn't want to be like, I appreciate it. I want to leave. I want to go with a team that got an opportunity to win because this is my last year. I'll just finish it strong. But again, everybody's different. So.
Yeah, and I saw the statement from the Vikings and their GM. I thought it was classy. Adam's been one of the great players for the Vikings of all time. He came in and requested this trade with an understanding that this was the end, and we'd like to honor that. We're proud of everything he's done here and respect that.
Typically, like as an agent, you'd want to, again, hypothetically, you would want to make sure you had a landing spot. I mean, you can do your homework behind the scenes to figure out where there would be mutual interest as opposed to, all right, I want to be released. And then, how bad would it be if your career just ended and you never got picked up?
That's what I'm saying.
So I think having a plan and understanding that there might be a home or you can go somewhere or there's somewhere you want to be and maybe conversations happen. Maybe it's with permission from the club to have those conversations versus just, jumping off blindfolded and hoping for the best.
Todd, has this opened the door for other vets then to do the same?
It's out there for sure. I don't think there's anyone necessarily going to look at it as quote unquote precedent, but I think that if a player wants to do something like that and the team, obliges and it's a situation that makes sense, do I think there's just going to be a mass exodus of guys on losing teams that want to get, moved and get released and go to another team? No, because there's cap implications, there's guarantees, there's money involved and all sorts of other stuff. So no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's such a unique situation too, where it's a guy who played a long time for that organization, left. I believe he got cut from Carolina during training camp this year and then comes back. And so Todd, like you said, it's a guy who has, a great lineage with this organization, but is on a contract at the end of his career where there really are no implications for the team. So I think all of those factors have to be, all those stars have to be aligned in order for something like this to happen.
What are the contract ramifications, Todd, of being waived in the middle of a season?
If he's a vested vet, so he's got, he's been in the league for more than 4 years, 4 credited seasons. Assuming he was on the roster week 1, his salary for the season's guaranteed, even if he's released. At the end of the day, like he's going to make his money if he was on the roster week 1. But it's interesting. Teams are so smart with things. If there's a veteran that they're not sure that they want all season long, or maybe their depth isn't there, they'll take a guy, cut him at camp, and then bring him back after week 1 because he's a vested veteran, just to get around the loophole of having to guarantee, without even guaranteeing it, but guarantee that players technically guarantee that salary for the season.
Yeah, multiple times. You see that as a player, and guys know it, right? Like players know it that this is something that's coming up, and they're usually like, "Hey, I'll see you in a week" or something like that after they get cut. Doesn't make them happy, that's for sure. They're usually pissed when they're headed out the door, but they know, that more than likely they're coming back in a week.
Another week of some trash talk, and it seems like it's getting out of control, guys. I don't know. How many times this year have we had Spitgate and, the Jaguars punter, Logan Cook allegedly saying he would kill Tennessee Titans running back Julius Chestnut. All right, heated moment, blah, 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 blah. And then you got the Titans, in the Jags in this game, they kept the officials busy. 23 accepted penalties. And you had Todd's guy. You had Jeffrey Simmons. He opens up about what set him off at one point during the game that led to more pushing and shoving. So here's Simmons after the game.
A couple of them, man, just talking. We talking about flag. That's what you're talking about. And the one I got, he stood over me and told me to suck his dick. And it is what it is. I'm not going. The ref said he thought I grabbed his face mask, but I didn't. Grabbed him right here, but it is what it is.
So there you have that from Simmons saying what set him off. You're like, okay, I'm with you here. Here's Shelby Harris. All right, so I want to go back and play what Shelby Harris had to say after his involvement in his game. AD, Matt, take a listen.
He's a hoe, and I want that known. Like, I see why he got punched in the nuts, because he says some things that you should not say to another man ever. But I don't respect it because you say that, then run behind your O-line. That's some real soft shit, and I want that known. I see exactly why they punched you in the nuts. I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
Okay, so that's Cleveland Browns defensive tackle Shelby Harris, who called out 49ers wide receiver Jawan Jennings after a loss to San Francisco. Now, according to Jason Aponte, he's a writer for Niners Nation, he said Jennings told Shelby that he would take his mother out to a nice seafood dinner and never call her again.
Hey, that's what he's mad about? Come on, man. That's what he's mad about?
I'm just reading it, AD. As a journalist, I'm trying to read what's factual here, my man. He's a hoe, and I want the world to know that he's a hoe.
That can't be it. That can't be it. Come on, man. Quit playing, Zach. Say, what else did he say?
That's all he said. That's all I got. That's
so
it.
So he got mad at this guy for saying he going to take his mom out for a seafood dinner and never call her again.
Seafood.
Nice. He going to wind it down her and then never call her again. I don't know. That's some bullshit.
The bottom line, these guys getting soft, and he's getting soft.
Man, that shit's cheesy. That shit's ass. That's not even a good comeback.
No, time out on Simmons. Simmons has every right to do whatever he wants.
That's different. That's different.
He's a beast. He's an animal.
He tells somebody to you suck your dick, and I would have.
We need to put a warning at the beginning of this if you're riding in your car with your kids. Time out. Let's take a little time out right here.
But I understand that part. But about him talking about the mom and taking her on a date, I don't see what that can be it.
Along these lines, I have a question for you, AD. Like on the bottom of a pile, right after a tackle, I know all sorts of stuff. You hear stuff goes on, grabbing, talking, whatever.
Yep.
Does some of that really go on, and what's said? And then Matt, like, if AD's on the bottom, I don't know what he's saying or doing or whatever. But like, if you're the victim on the bottom, Matt, has anything ever happened to you or conversation, or are you just dying to get out of there as fast as possible?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that happen under the pile. Shit, sometimes you under the pile, you got to give a couple punches. Like, get your ass up off me. That shit happens. Talking, you might have to pinch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff happen, man. It's a dirty game. Man. That's a part of it, though.
No doubt. Like a quarterback sneak or something, and you're at the bottom, and just everything. It's wild down there. There's a locker. You don't know who did what either. That's like the thing. You get up and you're all frustrated. You can get away. You can get away with anything down there because you have no idea. You can't see anything. You're just in this mess of humans all over the place. But listen, honestly, I've heard much worse than all of that that we heard right there. And I think one of the differences now is I think for a long time, what was said or what wasn't said, just never made the light of day. It didn't leave the field, and it's a different time. I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just a different time. And so for me, I always thought like AD, I just never wanted anybody to feel like they were getting in my head. And so, you could be chirping and I just chose not to react as much as I could. Sometimes I just tell somebody to shut up and drop an F-bomb in there or something like that to go back. But for the most part, it was that, and just not letting them know that you were kind of frustrating me or whatever. But, I've seen guys, it gets under certain people's skin and they go back at it. And that's part of it, man. That's part, if people want to be offended by it or whatever, that's the real part that happens out there. And so, how you respond to it, like Jeffrey I thought he was really good. I was, surprised he went into the level of depth that he did on what was said out there. But at the same time, he was talking about, it's about how we respond to it. So it is what it is.
I ain't gonna lie. I had my fair share of scuffles and going back and forth words. But I played with some guys that said some shit. I'm like, hey man, you don't gotta say that. I heard people talking about kids and wives and cutting people. I'm like, man, we playing football. So I heard it all. So this what we hearing today, that ain't nothing compared to another grown man telling a grown man, I'm gonna smack your kids when I see them. I'm like, what the fuck? The kids is in this?
Yeah.
In football, really? So I
particularly
heard
when people do their homework and they know names, and then you're like, whoa, yeah, whoa.
I heard a bunch of shit out there, man.
I remember, I mean, AD, I don't remember what it was, but I did see a clip somehow on social media the other week or something where they're like, an AD put his helmet back on to go back on the field to go have words with someone and go get in a scuffle. So I vaguely remember AD having some fights.
I got a little loose screws, man. I had to grow up a little bit, man. I was a little older, but I was still a little young, and I was still a little, a little shit ticked me off a little bit. Had to, I finished the game, and then I just had to have a conversation with somebody to make sure with everything they were trying to do and say, just to let them know where we at. Like, what's up?
Say? Be humble, but let a mother know.
Yeah,
I remember representing
that's what they say.
Lomas Brown, and he was a left tackle. I think he played like 17 years, but at the very tail end, I remember him saying like, T. France, man, like, I don't understand these young cats. He goes, they rile everybody up and get them all pissed off. He goes, not me. He goes, I play against the guy and knock him on his ass. I pick him right up. I talk to him, and I don't want to make him mad. Why do I want to let a sleeping dog lay? Don't fire him up to come back and go crazy on me. Just keep him close and keep him nice. And that was his whole thing. I was like, was that your trick over 17 years? He goes, no, but like that was his mindset versus, being crazy and getting everyone all fired up to go at you.
So something along those lines. I was a young player, like AD said. When you come in and you're young, you run a little hotter and you kind of learn the tricks of the trade as you get older. But I was a young player, and I remember Tyson Claybo was our right tackle, and I can't remember who the defensive lineman was, but they were talking shit and just kind of going back and forth, and I start chirping back at him, and I'm like, Tyson gets to that and he's like, hey man, don't do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I got to block him all day.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got to block this motherfucker.
Just keep your mouth shut. I was like, all right, I got you. My bad.
I love that shit. See, when people get me mad, I'm like, the best thing about football is I get to fuck you up the right way. I can run through your face. Now I'm really trying to fuck you up. And don't let a quarterback say nothing to me. Now I'm really going to try to knock your damn head off. So that's the best thing about football. They can say anything they want. We able to damn near whoop your ass the right way legally and get away with it.
Legally.
Yes.
You can get that frustration out.
I don't think I never had a quarterback that said nothing to me, but if I had a quarterback that was like,
they were smart.
Hey,
they knew. They knew.
I'm like, bro, my whole game plan is to knock your head out. Now when I get my hands on you, it's done. I'm going to make sure that you feel all these aches and pains tomorrow.
Aaron's all excited. He's like allowed to. He's getting accolades for hurting somebody.
Yes.
That's great, Aaron.
It's a part of the game, man.
But to your point, man, like you didn't want to let somebody get into your head, but it's the art of the trash talk. Because if you are able to get somebody out of their game and where they're so focused on not doing their job and they're emotional, you've won that battle.
But
it's on the flip side, you talk some shit to AD and it's just, that switch went from 8 to 11 real fast.
Well, it's a difference from you get me riled up and now my whole mindset is I want to fight. I don't want to play football instead of being like, oh, you just made me mad. I'm going to play football. I'm going to whoop your ass now in the right way. So it's a fine line. It's different. I don't want to be out there. Now, if I let somebody affect my play and affect me to the point where I'm no longer thinking about playing football. I'm just thinking about trying to fight. And I'm going to get my dumb ass kicked out the game, right? But get me riled up, get me mad. Okay, line up. I got something for you. That's different, right? So everybody do it different. That's just the way it worked for me.
And to AD's point, everybody is different. I played with two unbelievable wide receivers, Roddy White and Julio Jones. Couldn't be more different when it came to that. Roddy, what got him going was the back and forth, and he wouldn't stop, but it didn't take him out of being able to perform. Right? Like it made him perform and it got his juices flowing. Julio, on the other hand, he was very quiet out there, like didn't say anything, and guys would try and he was just flatline all the time. So it really just depends on the guys. I think for some, you figure out what works for you and you go with whatever that is, but there's no right or wrong way to do it.
And going back and forth, talking a lot, that shit get you winded. Damn, you got to think. You playing up. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, y'all got that. I ain't going to go back and forth arguing. I need to make sure my breath is good for third down, maybe fourth down. You know what I'm saying? I ain't playing with y'all.
We touched on it in one of the earlier episodes about one of the fans with the Seattle game. We're very smart with the trash talk and got in with Baker Mayfield. And, Todd and I grew up on the north side of the Chicago. And Sam Smith was a writer who wrote the book, The Jordan Rules. And then there was always these classic clips of a famous fan in Washington for the Washington Bullets, who would then sit behind the Chicago Bulls bench and just read chapters of the Jordan Rules to the team, and everybody, they had to hear it firsthand. So when you're in the NBA and you can get that close, the fans can get involved and it can be very smart. A little harder in the NFL. All right, it's hard to believe, but we're into week 14 of the NFL season, and the Patriots, the Panthers, the Giants, and 49ers are now entering their bye week, guys. Week 14, they just played 13 straight weeks. I mean, how? How is that possible? I know how it's possible, but what's harder, I guess, on the body? I mean, we've been talking about the mind and how important it is when it comes to controlling your emotions, but the physical toll, guys, the mental toll, 13 straight weeks of NFL ball seems like a lot to comprehend.
Would you rather have an early bye, late bye? How does that fly?
Midpoint for me. I think midpoint's perfect. Like, that's like if you can get like midway, that's like the perfect gift you can get, right? Play up to the midway. But I was always different too, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say like my bad week, I ain't take no days off. I wasn't like I'm gonna take a trip or I was like I'm gonna take care of my body, but I'm still gonna train my body, keep myself in shape, keep myself strong. So I'm a little different. I guess, I ain't really give myself a lot of time off, but through the season anyway, I'm taking care of my body. You got your regimen that you do through the week, your cold tubs, your massages, your game ready, your saunas, whatever it is you do, before every practice, if that's fucking getting my body gunned down, loosen my body up, or, I told you I had a lot of bad toe problems, getting my fucking feet massaged before every game or before every practice. So you got your regimen to keep your body attached. But midway point for me, I think that was always perfect.
I'm with AD. I think in that week 9, 10, 11, right around there, or 12, somewhere in there is usually the best spot. But the early bye is way worse than the late bye. Like the early bye when you're fresh. Week 5, 100%. Like, oh, dude, we're just getting into a rhythm. We're just getting started. And now we've got this long road in front of us. But I think what's interesting to consider is the 4 teams you mentioned. Only the Giants are out of it. Everybody else is in great position. Even Carolina, who's been a surprise this year. You talk about getting a little bit of a rest here with how physically they play. They could be dangerous in the last 4 weeks of the season. So, I think the Patriots bye comes at a great time.
Perfect time.
They ripped it off, and San Francisco comes at a good time. They've put themselves in good positions. I'd want to err on the late bye, have it week 14 than I would rather have it week 5.
We talked about the beginning of the show, momentum, right? What the Dallas Cowboys are doing. And you mentioned, Matt, I know it's late, but the Panthers just coming off that win nobody thought was coming over the LA Rams. Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Nah, they played good ball. They earned that. You know what I'm saying? I think they got 3 big turnovers. I think that defense played solid, right? Obviously, I think the Rams defense ain't played too good, right? They've been playing good the last 4 weeks. This week, I think they was missing a lot of tackles. Seemed like they was having some communication things, but it happened. It was a bad week in the office. They'll be back. They'll bounce back. Credit to the Panthers and the way they played. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. They did a great job on defense, and they made plays on offense, right? So, that's what you got to do, and then big game, bad week. Now they got some momentum, got some confidence, and come out that bad week healthy and go on a little run. Let's see what they do. So it was a big win for them.
I agree. And for the Rams, this isn't the end of the world. It's probably a good thing where you had been rolling so much up until this point, and this is a reset. Even for Matthew Stafford, you could throw 28 straight touchdowns without throwing an interception, and it's like, then you get to the point, like, throw 1 or 2, okay, boom, he bounces back, you lose this game, fine. Let's put this one away. And it's almost like, Zach, you do basketball as well, and you cover all sports. It's almost like one of those teams dropping one in college basketball prior to the tournament started, and they're 25-3 or something. Like they've been on a run where they've won 20 straight games, and then all of a sudden you drop one, and then, okay, let's reset and get back to it. So I don't think it's the end of the world for the Rams. I think they're going to be just fine, AD.
Yeah, I already know. I already know what Sean's preaching.
Knows.
You already know what he's preaching. It's like we beat ourselves. We in a good position. We gonna fix the shit we need to fix. We okay. What, they're 9-3? Big fucking deal. They okay. They in a great position. They just go out there, keep playing ball, right? Sometimes, look, I think they play good on offense, but they had 3 turnovers, right? On defense, playing good last 4 weeks, they need to clean some things up. That's okay. That's a part of the game. You ain't gonna win them all, but I'm pretty sure they'd rather lose now than
in January.
Come on, man.
100%. I'd rather have that performance at the end of November than I would in January.
Get that shit out your system. All right, let's get back on this run now. Like, it's a wake-up call. All right, let's lock back in. All right.
Plenty of ammo for Sean, too. Plenty of things for him to use moving forward.
Yes.
AD, what are you saying, AD? Is that no one's scared of the current number 1 seed in the NFC, the Chicago Bears?
They earned it, but I ain't gonna lie. If I was playing, I wouldn't mind playing fucking the Bears in the playoff game. Like, that's no shade, but they got some young players that never played on that stage yet. It's different. Like playoff ball, all that. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different. Like I know people always say it's different. I don't care what nobody say. To me, I've been there. I experienced it. It's different than the regular season. The game's a lot more intense. Speed of the game seems a little more faster. Everything is amped up a little bit, in my opinion. So
let me say this though: if you're a Bears fan and you look at this and you say, "Okay, we are then that 1 seed, and everybody can say whatever they want. They've beaten the teams on their schedule. Maybe they have, whatever. It
but
doesn't
they got
matter.
it done. Their records.
You've won the games you should. Yeah. But if you look at that Carolina game, and this is what the Bears do: they take the football away on defense. They run the football, and you got a great chance if you get home field advantage for the Rams to play in bad weather like they did in Carolina. I think there's some optimism there for you two that are from the north side of Chicago.
You're down, baby.
I will play that. I pick the Chicago Bears. I'll play them all day if I got it. That's what I got to go through. I don't mind going there and playing against them young quarterbacks.
I'm laying it out there for the Bears from the Bears' perspective.
But experience is everything too.
Todd,
you know what I'm saying?
Bears, Rams, playoff. We take the show on the road. Ordering some pizza. Matt meets us there. You down?
Yeah, I'm good. If we're doing the pizza, are we doing the weigh-in thing again? Because I eat a lot of that pizza.
Hey, look, I'm gonna show y'all this. I was doing this prediction thing, and it was like, and it says wherever you stop it, this is gonna be the Super Bowl game. And I'm like, so I did it, and I stopped. I told my wife, whatever I stop it, this is gonna be playing in the Super Bowl. Boom, and this is what it picked. It had the Broncos and the Rams playing in the Super Bowl as a Super Bowl prediction. I saved it. I screenshotted it. So we're gonna see. We're going to see if that shit going to come to life. So we're going to see. I don't know.
What a step out on a limb there, AD. You've got the 1 seed in the AFC and maybe the best team in the NFC. Real. Going out on a limb.
Patriots back to number 1. Patriots
did you
number
screen
1
that
seed.
shit in August? Was that an August screen grab or was that a...
This was just last night. I just
AD.
did this last night.
Okay.
I screenshotted it.
AD, Matt will talk shit. That's because he's on this Zoom. He's not in your building, so he's not afraid to taunt you.
3,000 miles away.
That's my guy. We good.
All right.
We good.
AD, hit us up, man. What you got for your player of the week?
Some good ball being played, man. I think my honorable mention will be cornerback with the Bills. Benford had a defensive touchdown interception, but I think Micah Parsons playing some good ball, man. A big performance for him. 8 tackles, 2.5 sacks. I think he was really productive, but he did a lot of things and opened up a lot of things for other guys that make plays, man. I think he's dominating, playing at a high level. Be honest with you, I think this guy can mess around and have about 15 sacks on the season. His team make this playoff run. Defensive player of the year. I know Myles Garrett is, going for the record, but I don't know. I think Michael Parsons heating up and playing some good football at the right time. And from the team's success and his success, if he can get to like 15 sacks, I think defensive player of the year is in his future, man, this season possibly. So we're going to see, though. We're going to see. So I think Michael Parsons is my guy this week. Let's clap it up for Micah, man. My dog playing some good football, man. Keep it up, big dog. Keep chasing, keep hunting, and keep leading that defense. How you doing it, man? So,
all right, love
AD stepping out on a limb again. Micah Parsons. I agree with you. I agree with you. Give respect where it is earned.
Yeah, I think Myles Garrett is having a really good year, but his team success ain't what it is. And sometimes they go off production and the team success. So I think if Micah can get to that like 15 sacks and keep playing how he's playing with his team success they having, they might mess around and get a defensive player of the year to somebody else. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No chance.
I only won it 3 times, so I kind of know
that's for the 2 minute.
The way it works.
That's for the 2 minute. All right, let me start this up, Zach. All right, AD segues us into this very nicely. I'm going to start. I got the clock running right here. Okay,
2-minute drill.
We'll start. Yeah, 2-minute drill. Let's go. All right, AD. One of my first questions for you was, can the defensive player of the year be on a team that finishes in the bottom of the division?
If he's Myles Garrett and he can get 26 sacks, yes. But anybody, no, you don't typically work like that. No.
Okay, Todd. Let's go with you right here. Deep dish. We were talking Chicago. Deep dish pizza, deep dish Chicago style pizza, or New York, the thin crust? What do you prefer?
I'm going thin crust Chicago. instead of deep dish Chicago. Thin crust, like Paisanos downtown, for sure. Love it.
Paisanos downtown.
Yes, and I order it. Comes frozen. Oh, yeah, we get it here in Atlanta, too.
Is it good frozen?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's
Okay.
I actually ordered Lou Malnati's, but yes, it's great frozen
Tavern
for sure.
style. I think it's officially known as tavern style Chicago.
Okay. So, Zach, I was going to ask the same thing. Being from up there, deep dish or should I say tavern style pizza?
Tavern style all day. Todd will order it for all of us, Matt, and we'll have a party at his house with tavern style Chicago pizza.
Listen, I'm so frustrated
minute
right
timeout,
here.
2 minute timeout,
I'm
timeout,
so
2 minute timeout.
frustrated right
Timeout.
here at
We had one,
1:43. The game's
Matt.
over. It's New York style pizza all day. What are we talking about? There's no question about this.
I ain't gonna lie. I went to New York a couple months ago, and my driver took me to I don't know what the pizza place was called. They gave me one slice that was fucking the size of this damn towel. I'm like, one
Big
slice.
slice.
And it was delicious. It was delicious.
Yes.
So it was delicious. So I'm gonna just throw that out there.
It's everybody from Chicago, man. I'm gonna get crushed by everybody in Chicago, but everybody in Chicago tells me the pizza's better there. New York, to me, it's the best.
None of us can eat it anyways. We got this weight thing going on. None of us can eat it anyways, so forget it. It's irrelevant.
So we're going to weigh in
It's all
next
good.
week. Is that what we're doing? We're going to weigh in?
No,
come
next
up
week
with a plain weight?
next week I come up with my benchmark, and then we weigh in.
Man,
Todd wants to go on an AD fast first before he says this. But
No.
the thing
Todd,
is, you got to blow it out. Blow it up high.
Correct.
Todd don't even
Yes.
want to
I don't
know
wanna-
his weight.
Yes.
He's trying to keep it a secret. You know what kind of weight you. When was the last time you weighed? How much did you weigh, Todd?
I don't remember, but I did just buy something. I swear to you, I did. I just bought something on Instagram. I got suckered. This thing called like Hume Health or something where you like pull it up. It tells you like your visceral fat, your body fat, your weight, your heartbeat, like the whole thing. I have no idea if it works because it's been sitting on my desk in the cardboard box since I got it. But I will do it sometime this weekend, and we'll see if my body fat's 8% or if it's 9%. It's probably somewhere between
Zach,
there.
how much you weigh, Zach?
How much you think?
I'll tell you right now, 132. Man,
I about to say
No
probably like
way.
one. I give you 175.
oh,
ish.
no chance.
Lighter than that.
I'm a svelte 168.
As a
168.
grown man, you 168 as a grown man.
That's a grown man.
Hey,
You're 160.
but AD,
Hey, listen, I don't remember the last time I probably
Hey, when's the last
168
time
when
you
I
were
was
under 200 pounds, AD?
when I was fucking
168.
12. Once I hit 12, everything just blew up after that. I was gone.
As a grown
but
man.
AD,
I was grown
here's
man,
the thing, man.
168.
AD, here's the problem I have. I was a fat kid. I used to weigh 220 in college. man.
No, 220?
No, hold on.
Good for
220's
you.
not fat, bro. Hold on, stop. You said
220 as you have
220
gotten
is
down
not
to
fat.
265.
220 is not fat. I weighed that shit when I was 13. Stop that. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear it. Stop it.
Oh, it's different. It's different.
How tall were you when you weighed 212? When you
I
weighed
don't know,
220? At 13,
probably
how tall were you?
I was probably like 5'8", probably. I was a little wider. That's why I like. That's why I
5'8",
work out as much
220 is
as
fat, man.
That's why I work out the way I do. I ain't gonna be that kid no more, man. You know, I like to take my shirt off too much. You know, I got to look
I'm
good.
with you. That's why
Oh,
I work
man.
out the way I do. I don't weigh 220 anymore.
But you don't
Let's
take
be
your
honest.
shirt off.
Whatever your weight is, whatever your body type is, everybody's doing great. Everybody looks great. We're in a good space.
Everybody's
Thanks,
good. But
man.
I
Maybe
ain't
we
gonna lie.
should weigh. Maybe we don't want to go down this road.
starting to see some personal issues coming to
Some
the
issues
forefront.
going around.
It was
going
supposed to
around
be
these little
fun.
squares right now.
That's okay. It's
I don't
okay.
think we need to send anybody to therapy.
AD's my brother
accountability.
from another mother, man. We were fat kids
There
back
we
in the
go.
day. We're bonding over this shit right now. AD, we're good, man.
Yeah, now you're shredded, both of
Accountability.
you. Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, I love
Yeah.
it.
I think it worked all right for both of us. But yes, there's some deep issues there, Matthew. Good stuff, fellas. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks for everybody for tuning in to the Inner Circle podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment in there, and we'll see you next week on the show. Much love, guys. We'll see you soon.